Yeah. Good evening, all.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, yes. So, let's start the session. I have to excuse because I have a sore throat. Okay, so is my presentation visible? The presentation is visible? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, in today's session, we are going to see about the basic export documentations. So, it's not only meant for no like export, but few documents for applicable for import as well. There is no like when the supply chain organization, a logistic company decides to export their products. There is no like decides to transport their products outside the country borders. So they need to know like strictly follow a few export documentation process and make sure these documentations either it can be like sent in advance to the carriers and the the buyers, or otherwise no it has to accompany along with the goods or with the consignment. So previously all were physical documents. Like there used to be like lot of document papers. Different sheets of papers for pro forma invoice and like separately for bills, separately for the customs, the officials not to sign and declare the goods. So there were many physical documentation happening, but now like everything has been digitized. So now the logistic companies or the freight forwarders who are shipping the products, that is transporting the products on behalf of these logistic companies or behalf of the manufacturers. So they make sure that all these digitized documents are sent to the concerned parties even before the shipment is happens. That is even before the product is taken out from the warehouse and even before being transported to the nearest port. So why? Because this eases the the whole supply chain process, the eases the transportation process, especially the shipping process, and makes sure the products for the consignment. So doesn't have to stay in one particular location or a process for a very long time. For example, if something is missing in export, that is missing in customs documentation procedure, or if any of the fields has not been filled out properly, or there is a mistake which has happened, what happens is uh, till the mistake is rectified by the concerned party, it can be either the freight forwarder or it can be either the seller. So the product stays in the customs house for a quite longer time. So it would not be loaded on the ship, or it won't be loaded on the transportation vehicle. So to avoid this, the product or the consignment being, stalled in one particular point. So for the easy movement of the products, to keep the products, keep on, moving from one phase to another, from one location to another, or from one process to other process. So this export documentation has to be, carefully carried out, filled out, and be submitted in advance to the concerned parties. So let's see one by one. The first one being the bill of lading. So most of you might be, having a job in a supply chain industry. Most of you will be working right now for a supply chain industry. So for you, so this might have been, the terms which you have already, heard, or you might have came to know about these terms. But for the others, I would like to know to give a brief detail about know what these are. Okay, bill of lading. So who issues this document is the transporters. So if the transportation vehicle, let us say if the transportation is being taken care by the seller itself or by the manufacturer itself, it means if the transportation process is no like completely no like undertaken by the manufacturer by himself or by itself, then those people, the transportation department has to generate this bill of lading, and that has to be submitted. So to whom it has to be submitted? So it can be like a copy can be uh, attached with the the main documentation, the main copy, and the duplicate copies, that is the photostated copies. So it can be like one can be given to the port authorities or the shipping carriers, and one can be sent to the if the buyer requires it, maybe like the shipper or the seller or the freight forwarder can send it to the buyer as well. But in most cases, bill of lading will not be required by the buyer. So the party who is involved in generating this bill of lading is the transportation department or the transportation company who is transporting the product. So next is the commercial invoice and packing list. And commercial invoices, nothing but it has a list of it has a complete detail about the products. That is about the the items which are going to be shipped. So the quantity and the price of the product. Packing list doesn't have the price of the product. So it packing list only has the number of the products type, the specification of the product, the quantity of the product, who is the seller, who is the receiver. Only these information will be listed in the packing list, but not the price. Whereas commercial invoice, you have to mention the price of the product as well. So these two are no necessary documents along with pro forma invoice. So pro forma invoice, commercial invoice, packing list, bill of lading, that's optional. So these 3 or 4 documents are it's mandatory. A copy of these is mandatory. For the customs department to to get it from the seller or from the the freight forwarder for clearance of the products from the customs warehouse. The third one is shipping bill or bill of export. So this is issued by no like if it is not the products are not exported from India, so it is issued by ICE Gate, that is Indian Customs Electronic Gateway. So this is generated by the customs officials, the customs department. So to whom it will be sent is this goes along with the all the other documents. A copy of this will be will be attached with the main documents, which is the commercial invoice, packing list, bill of lading, and pro forma invoice. And coming to pro forma invoice, there is a difference between pro forma invoice and the other documents. The main difference is pro forma invoice is initiated by the seller. Uh, so even before the sale has happened, even before the product has product goes out of the warehouse or product goes out of the production unit, or sometimes even before the product has been packaged. So this is the initial document which is generated by the seller, and the copy of it would be sent to the buyer. So all other documents will be initiated by the concerned parties once the product is ready for transportation, or while in transit, or when it is in the customs uh, hold, that is in the warehouse, customs warehouse or in the ports, and depends on the the carriers, that is the shipping carriers which transports the products. And then is the export order or purchase order. This is just like the pro forma invoice. Like few companies only stick on to generating pro forma invoice. They don't go with the purchase order. So purchase order is nothing but the pro forma invoice. More or like a pro forma invoice. So this is again the purchase order is initiated by the those the concerned parties. So even before the product goes out of the warehouse or the production unit. So this is mainly initiated by the buyers. just like pro forma invoice. So it includes the cost of the product. So here in purchase order, the cost of the product is mentioned. Whereas in pro forma invoice, no, like cost, in most cases, cost will not be mentioned. The price of the products will not be mentioned. So cost, shipping details, type of currency, and any other specific goods information and required. So these things will be in the purchase order or export order. Then is the certificate of origin. So the exported products, no, it has to have a complete detail, the in-depth detail of where it has been manufactured, who has manufactured it, and no, like what is their address, no, what is the company's name, or what is the no, like the the concerned party's name who has manufactured it. So that is no, like will be mentioned in the certificate of origin. So it has to go along with the main documents. And sometimes, no, like not sometimes, in most cases, the customs officials need this certificate of origin as well in case of specialized products. Specialized products in the sense, uh, like the kind of, take an example of, like medicines. In case of medicines, export of, medicinal products, or export of agricultural products, so it needs a certificate of origin. So where it has been manufactured, who has manufactured it, and when it has been manufactured, the batch name, the manufacturer batch name, and the month and year of the manufactured, manufactured happened. So everything will be mentioned in the certificate of origin. So letter of credit. Okay, so letter of credit is a document initiated or generated by the bank who is like supporting the buyer, like for buying the products. So sometimes the buyer may not be in a position to pay for the product for which he or she is like importing. So in those cases, the buyer can approach his or her bank and ask for a letter of request for a letter of credit. And that depends on the relationship, the business relationship, the customer client relationship between the bank and the buyer. So if the buyer has a good record, with his bank or her bank, the bank will provide a letter of credit. So on behalf of the buyer. So this letter of credit will be, like sent to the uh, bank, which is the seller's bank. There is no in which the seller is having the account. So this bank initiates all the documents on behalf of the seller. So all the transactions will be through these banks on behalf of the seller and the buyer. And then is the inspection or quality check certification. So again, like this applies for like any specialized products. If your products has to be like investigated, or like a detailed analysis has to be done, a chemical product, or like a biochemical product, like medicines, or other things. So it has to be like completely tested, completely inspected. The quality has to be checked, and the like the analyst have to give you a special certification, attestation that yes, this products can be exported. And they can even specify how this products has to be, like which packing material has to be used to pack these products, and how safely it has to be, carried away. So all these information, like the analyst can suggest. So this information, this documentation is also necessary in case, like it depends on the, like the product which the company is, like exporting. Then phytosanitary and fumigation certificate. So this applies when the product is, the agricultural one. So if it is an agricultural produce, then you have to initiate a phytosanitary certificate. So this certificate ensures that the agricultural products which is exported, so doesn't have it doesn't carry any disease or any fungus or any like microbacterial which is very harmful for the environment or for the the customers or for like anyone or for the carrier itself. Okay, so this has to be again certified by the specialist in that particular field. So it can be a scientist or it can be an agency who is like conducting this phytosanitary inspection. So if the product is an agricultural product, yes, obviously phytosanitary certificate is like a required one. Okay. So other additional documents, marine insurance policy, and this insurance policy, usually almost all the buyers or the sellers, it can be either the buyer or it can be either the seller. No, like usually, no, they go with no, like taking insurance for the products which is to be transported, because sometimes no transporting the product through sea mode and air mode, no, it's risky. Obviously, it's risky. So in case no, like any damage has happened to the product and no, like an irrecoverable damage has happened. So in those cases, either the seller or the buyer can no, get the insurance, no, the insured amount, so they can know like, somehow they can know escape from the major loss. So insurance policy is also required, and mates receipt. So this is mate receipt is issued by the carriers. So this confirms the loading of goods on the shipment and is issued after the sale. So once a product has been loaded on the carrier, that is on the shipping vessel, so this is issued by the port authority or by the no the custom the officials of the ship, the commanding officer of the ship. So then FEMA declaration for exports, that is Foreign Exchange Management Act. So this declaration, so it has it agrees to comply with the principles of the FEMA. So you're the exporters are agreeing to all the rules and regulations, which is forwarded by the Foreign Exchange Management Act rule. So you have to know as an exporter, the concerned party has to sign, attest to these no declaration when they are going with the export of their goods. Then export order. So issues after customs clearance procedure is completed, and it also acts as a proof that the necessary formalities and activities have been fulfilled. So once the customs clearance is done, there is customs, checking and everything is done. The verification of documents like the main documents, which is required. There is a pro forma invoice, commercial invoice, packing list, and sometimes bill of lading as well. So all this, once it has been, verified by the customs officials, so they will issue the export order. So giving an authorization that yes, this products can be, yes, is eligible for export. So this is given by the customs officials, customs department, in the port of the origin. That is from which the origin of the country from which the product is being exported. And export general manifest, again, this is no issued by the commanding officer of the ship. So after the goods are relocated from the exporting country, the manifest is filed by the carrier. So carrier here no refers to the shipping vessel, the container vessel or the cargo vessel, the shipping vehicle. So you have the topmost shipping vehicles, shipping carriers, they are all over the world. MSC, you have CMA, CGM, you have Evergreen, Hyundai, and in Mass. Yeah, these are the famous, shipping carriers. Okay, then we all know we have to know about the import terms. So what are import terms? So import terms, or the acronyms which would be mentioned in these export documents. So why this is mentioned? Because so by knowing the import term, by knowing what acronym, what import term it is, so any person in the export procedure, the activity will come to know. So whose responsibility is what? That is, what is the seller's responsibility and what is the buyer's responsibility? So for example, if the EXW, this acronym is mentioned in the export document, shipping document, it means X works. So X works here, it refers to the condition where the exporter of the goods, that is the seller of the goods, has to make ready the goods available in his location or in her location. It can be the factory location, it can be the production location, that is the production unit or the warehousing unit or whatever. So this means the seller, the shipper has to make sure the products are readily available, packed, packaged, and everything, like readily available in the location whichever the buyer is like requesting for. So all other formalities, all other costs, that is the transportation cost, port handling cost, and the customs cost involved in the customs clearance, and the cost, that is the money which is payable for the shipping carriers, the insurance. So all these costs will be bared by the buyer. The seller doesn't have any other responsibility here. So the only responsibility the seller, that the shipper has, is make the products readily available in the location which is preferred by the buyer. So free carrier, FCA, this is not like otherwise mentioned as FCA. So if FCA is mentioned in the shipping document, it means the seller delivers the goods cleared for export to the carrier nominated by the buyer to the named place. That is no like till free till no the till to the port. That is no if the buyer is no asking the seller to load the products in the nearest port. That is no like, for example, if the seller is in say Mumbai and the buyer is in Dubai. So seller is in Mumbai, buyer is in Dubai. So the buyer from Dubai insists the seller to load the goods in the Mumbai port. So no, he is asking the buyer is asking the seller to load the goods on the shipping carrier from Mumbai port. Sometimes no, the seller even can suggest that no, like okay, go for MSC. So that is the no, like I know few no, like officials in no, like in MSC. So when the product reaches no, when the shipping carrier reaches no Dubai port, I can know like easily know like unload the products and I can know like take it to my custody. So, so on this advice, on this like regard, the buyer makes sure it is taking care of all the cost involved in transporting the product to the nearest port, that is the Mumbai port, which the seller has suggested. It is free carrier. So here, the carrier charges, that is the transportation charges, like that is being taken care. That responsibility is taken care by the seller. So buyer is no like that doesn't have anything to do about. But all other costs involved, there is all the other processes involved that would be taken care by the buyer. There is the insurance and no like the port handling charges or no like the unloading charges from the port of destination. So all these will be taken care by the buyer. The third one, CIP, there is carriage and insurance paid to. So when it comes to CIP, insurance, it means the seller is no like responsible for taking insurance for the products which is to be exported. So carriage and insurance, the carriage charges plus the insurance charges. So these costs will be taken care by, that is no like taken as a responsibility by the seller. So all other charges will be taken care by the buyer. Delivered at place. No, that is no mentioned as DAP in the shipping document. So this is where the seller delivers the goods to a named place of destination. So till the product reaches the destination place, all the costs and all the responsibilities involved in like transporting the product and delivering the product where the buyer has insisted the seller. Okay, so till that point, it's all the seller's responsibility. At delivery duty paid, that is the customs charges. So at the delivery port. So at the Dubai port, in order to know like clear off the customs, you have to pay for the like some money to the customs officials. There is a customs department. So there is always some customs charges. So that will be taken care by the seller. So the buyer have not to worry about it. So that would be taken care by the seller. So here the responsibility of the seller is to take care of the delivery duty. That is the customs charges at the delivery port. So delivered at terminal. So till the product is not delivered at the destination terminal, till it reaches a Dubai port. So the seller is no like taking care of all the cost. That is no mentioned as DAT. And then is free alongside ship. So alongside ship means beside the ship, next to the ship. So note now say imagine no the port is the Mumbai port, the origin port is the Mumbai port from where the products has to be loaded on the MSC container vessel. So say after 1.5 or 2 days it reaches the Dubai port and yeah, that is the scenario. So free alongside ship means the seller takes the responsibility of transporting the products from his location, from his factory location or warehouse location till the Mumbai port. And from there, again, uh, there will be no like the port charges. There is no the entry fee and no the unloading the products from the truck. That is a transportation truck once it reaches the no the port. And next to the ship, there will be no like the platform, right? The wharf for the platform. So there, the products has to be staged for some time, right? So no to clear off no like few no like for example no few duties and everything. So the products, the packages has to be unloaded from the truck and has to be placed on the staging area on the platform. So on the wharf. So that is mentioned as free alongside ship. So all the charges till that point will be taken care by the seller. So the other charges will be taken care by the buyer. Free on board, that is FOB. It means till the product is loaded on the deck of the ship. So from the wharf, no, the from the wharf platform, the product has to be picked and placed on the deck of the ship. So if the package is no a containerized package, the containerized products, then you have to use crane for no like picking the container and placing it on the ship. Or if the package is no little no like heavy but can be no like manhandled, like you have to use the laborers or the workers in the port to handle the products, and that has to be like transferred to the deck on the ship. So till this like the seller takes care. That is till the product is placed on the deck of the ship. That is free on board. So till that, it is completely free for the buyer because the seller takes the responsibility to till that point. Then is cost and freight. So where the seller is responsible for the cost of transportation of the goods to the destination. But this risk not transfers to the buyer once the goods are loaded to the shipping vessel. So once it has been loaded to the shipping vessel, from there on, the responsibility, the cost, and no responsibility for the goods, it will be transferred to the buyer. But till that point, the seller will take care of the cost and freight charges, the transportation charges, port handling charges, crane charges, customs charges in the origin post. So all these charges will be taken care by the seller. Then cost, insurance, and freight. So again here, the cost of the freight, the insurance, and no like till the no like the goods or no like sent that is not transported to the ports of destination. So till that point, all the cost and insurance and freight charges, everything will be taken care by the seller. So the buyer don't have to worry about this. So this cost insurance freight is mentioned as a CIF in the export document. So these are the import terms, like different, like acronyms of the import terms, which would be mentioned in the shipping documents. So this, by saying this, the customs official or the port authorities or even the CANO, like the commanding officer of the ship, and like the transportation authority. So whoever it is, like they can clearly understand. Okay, so EXW is mentioned on that export document. It means so this is the seller's responsibility and this is the buyer's responsibility. So why it is mentioned? Why this has to be like declared on the shipping document? Because if anything happens to the products in between the transit. So while the product is on the transit, or when the product is like handled in the port, so accidents may happen, damages may happen, theft may happen. So something has happened to the product. So these authorities have to know, like have an understanding of no which party they have to inform. So if it is X works, the no the port authorities and no like the product has been damaged no like in the port while not being handled by the crane, so they have to know like inform the buyer, not the seller, because no here the seller has no other responsibility other than making the products ready in the no like the destination that sorry the origin place, because all the cost, all the no like the risk related to the product is no like taken care by the buyer. So they have to inform the buyer. So that's why no this incoterms no like it's mentioned in the shipping documents. And insurance, when it comes to insurance, so in case of no like any no like irreparable damage, something no the product is no like lost while transit because of no like accident or collision when the ship is no sailing on the seas. So they have to know like have a clear idea whom the insurance money has to be paid, whether it's to the seller or the buyer. So if they can know, like if they see that no CIP is no like mentioned, CIP is mentioned, or CIF is no like mentioned on the shipping document, it means the insured money for the product has to be given to the seller and not to the buyer. Because here the seller takes the responsibility of insurance. So hope it is clear. Okay. So now we are going to know, like, see the general terms and terminologies in related to know the whole supply chain. Not only know like for shipping, not only for transportation, but for the whole supply chain. So the basic components of supply chain is no like it starts with planning. Planning for the whole process, whole supply chain process, and then comes the procurement, and then comes the transportation, that is the procured raw materials being transported to the manufactured location or to the assembly point. And there the production is done, the manufacturing is done, or the assembly is done. Again, the completed products, no, which has completed the manufacturing process, the products are transported or transferred to the warehouse. And from the warehouse, the goods or the products, the stock is no like transported and distributed to the customers or sometimes the end consumers. So this is the whole components of the supply chain. And no, it doesn't end with the last mile delivery to the consumer. So again, no, like the feedback has to be no like gotten back from the customer. Again, the process starts. So that's why I mentioned supply chain is not a linear concept. No, it's a no like what do you say? No, like it's a cycle chain. It's a networking of no it's cycle chain concept. So it goes around and around. No, like there is no end to it. Okay, so sometimes the products may be returned by the customers, so which is mentioned as reverse logistics. So that has to be handled by the organization. So these terms and terminologies, like gives a clear understanding of like where like these concepts work out. So in which of the components these terminologies are used. Let's start with like the first one, aggregate inventory management. So this is with regard to the inventory handling in the warehouse, right? Or no, in the production unit. So this is applicable to the raw materials or work in process materials or sometimes the finished products as well, because inventory means everything, all the materials or the no all the products are considered as inventory. It can be raw materials, it can be work in process materials, it can be finished goods as well. So the process of managing the total quantity of items held in stock across the entire supply chain to optimize total inventory levels and cost. So managing the aggregate inventory. Then is advanced planning and scheduling. So this is with the help of these systems, and know this is with the help of a software which can know like give an idea which can suggest these logistic operators or the warehouse operators to to plan and schedule for the whole of the manufacturing process, not only for manufacturing process but for the transportation processes and production processes. So, Mr. Xavier, please mute your audio. Mr. Xavier, Mr. Xavier, please mute your audio. And then is ABC analysis. So again, it's Mr. Xavier. Can you please mute your audio? Xavier, are you can you hear me? Please mute your audio. It's completely disturbing the class. Okay, fine. Let's continue. Yeah. Okay, then is ABC analysis. Again, it refers to the inventory management. So the whole inventory is categorized into A, B, and C. So A category, high valuable products, and B category is average valuable products, more or less valuable products, and C category is not so vital products. So the whole inventory is segregated into A, B, and C. So why? Because so the A category products, so which is high, which is high in value, high of value. So these products you cannot store too much. That is you cannot hold too much of inventory, for high value products. Because what happens is, if suddenly there is a no trend change in the market, there is a sudden change in the trend. So the people may not be, liking the same product, from the organization. They may be switching to the competitor's product, or they may be, requiring some other new product. So in that case, all these high value raw materials or high value work in process materials or the high value finished products, everything will become obsolete. So to avoid this, it's always to maintain an average level of these high value products. That is the high value inventory, which comes in A category. And then there's the B category inventory, so which is more or less valuable. So it's good to have, but again you have to have a control over the number of the stock you're going to have in hand. It shouldn't be too much. The same time, it shouldn't be very less. So then is the C category, so which is not so vital, because it's not so high of value. So even if there is a shift in the trend in the market, even if the customer doesn't buy the product anymore, that is from the same organization. So this low value products, this is not going to give you heavy loss. So you can be little frivolous with this C level inventory. Then ABC inventory control. So controlling this ABC, different levels, different categories of this inventory. So how you're going to control it. So there are many systems or many strategies involved in controlling this types of inventory you're maintaining in your warehouse or in the production. Then active stock. Again, it refers to the inventory that is readily available for order fulfillment and located in primary picking locations. So it can be, even said as the safety stock or the buffer stock. So active stock. So in case there is a sudden rise in the demand, immediately this can be, packaged, and it can be sent to the customer. No, for safety side, you're always having a buffer stock or an active stock readily available. Then is annual inventory count. So it's a periodic process. So usually, this is done, every year. Yearly it is done. So when business physically counts its entire inventory to verify stock levels and reconcile with the recorded inventory data. This is done to check the inventory level, just to cross check whether there is enough inventory just like the same year, just like the previous year. Or if there is a shift in the trend, so adjustments can be made to this annual inventory count. So either it can be increased or it can be decreased according to the market situation. Then automated data capture. So this is nothing but no like the scanners, no, using scanners for scanning the barcodes, which is otherwise called as no RFID, radio frequency identification devices. So this is to collect, store, and transfer data automatically. So once you scan the barcode, so barcode is nothing but no like the detailed information about the product which is packed or packaged. So that is no like the barcodes, no, that is no because of the it is not like the machine readable format. It is not like done in the machine readable format. That's why now you're scanning the barcode. So all the information related to that product will get automatically, the data gets transferred to the nearest point of sale system. Then automated ordering system. So this technology driven process, so it automatically generates purchase orders based on inventory levels. So here where no like the ERP comes in help. So if your organization, if it is a supply chain organization, a logistic a company, or a procurement company, or a transportation company, whatever it may be. So like if you want to know, like go with the purchase, no, like if you want to purchase the raw materials, no, no, like usually your organization purchases raw materials, say once in a week or once in a month from a particular vendor. So the ERP, which is no like which can be given access to your vendor as well as no your organization. That is both the parties can you access the ERP. So the ERP, the application automatically know like it can generate the purchase order and it will be sent to the vendors. So no, based on that, no, like I mean, after getting the information or after getting the purchase order from the ERP, that is the digital system, the vendors can now like start working on the raw materials which they are going to supply to you. Then is available inventory. There is no which is on hand, which is no rightly no like right available on hand and ready for sale for distribution. Then airway bill. Okay, so airway bill is no like just like bill of lading. So this is used where if the product is like shipped by air transportation. So when you're using air mode of transportation for transporting or shipping your products, so you have to use airway bill. And at the same time, if your products are no like transported by say road mode of transportation or rail mode of transportation, you have different bills for that matter. So if it is no like road mode of transportation, you can use yeah bill of lading is also applicable, and you can use LR receipt. It is lorry receipt. And if it is rail mode of transportation, you have to use RR receipt. That is no like railway receipt. So bill of lading, airway bill, the shipping bill, or RR, that is no like railway receipt or lorry receipt, LR. So all these are generated by the concerned transportation companies or concerned transportation departments. So then is back order. So back order is no like you have your company has your warehouse or your production unit has your company has placed an order with the vendor, but the vendor was not able to supply that no like on time. So you're checking with the vendor. So again, you're no like making a fresh order. So that is called as back order because the first time when you're placing the order, you haven't received the products for your first order, fresh order. So you're now placing the order again as a fresh order. So that is called as back order. Then bill of materials. So this is why this is mentioned as back order is like if a vendor is no like continuously like receiving back orders from no like customers, it means the vendor is not able to supply the raw materials on time. So there is no like the quality of the supply, it's very deteriorating in that vendor from the vendor's point of view. So you have to search for a new vendor then. So again and again, this back order is happening from your end. There is no you're placing back order to a particular vendor. So frequently it means no, the vendor is not no like helping you in times of need. That is not helping you with the supply of the required raw materials when you need it in your production unit or when your customer needs it. So in that case, you have to change the vendor. Then is bill of materials. That is a comprehensive list of all the raw materials, components, and instructions required to construct, manufacture, repair a product or service. So everything to construct, manufacture, or repair a product or service. So all the list of raw materials and components. So that is called as bill of materials. Yeah, bill of lading we have already seen. A bonded warehouse. So bonded means it represents the customs warehouse. So for any product to be exported or imported, it has to have a customs clearance. Without custom clearance, no product, not even no like a single product, a minimal product will be no like will be sent out of the country or will be no like received into the country. So all the products, no, like it usually no like goes through the customs warehouse. Customs officials will know like have a thorough check on the product. They will know cross check on the documentation related to the product. And they have to give the clearance so that the buyer can take the products from the customs warehouse. Bin tag. Okay, what is bin tag? It's a label attached to the storage bin or shelf and indicates information about the inventory items stored there, just like a sticky note. So it has an information like what is the product. And like because every time you don't have to open the package to see what the product or what is the product inside it. So just to have a sticky note or a label is not like attached on the package, on the main package, or on the shelf or on the rack to identify to easily understand, okay, so this product, so this many quantity is in the package. There is bin transfer. So the process of moving inventory from one bin or storage location to another within the same warehouse. And that is bin transfer. That is from one location to another location or from one bin to another bin or from one zone in the warehouse to another zone. That's called as bin transfer. So wherever the product is no like moved within the warehouse, say from the receiving dock to the zone or to the like to the rack or the shelf or to the storage unit, it has to be recorded. Okay, it is taken out of the storage unit for any other purpose, say for scanning or for quality checking or for adding something extra to the product, packing or packaging, barcode attaching for any reason. The product is again moved out of the location, actual location, that is retrieved from the shelf. Again, it has to be recorded. Okay, so again, no, like when the product is moved from one zone to the other zone for any other, process related to the, the distribution, it has to be recorded. So wherever the product is being moved within the warehouse location or within the production location, it has to be recorded in the nearby system, no, which has the, no, the management software. For example, if it is in warehouse, you have this WMS, which is warehouse management system, and application software, which can guide you with the management or the organization and managing the whole no, all the products, that is all the stock no inside the warehouse. Or if it is a transportation unit, transportation department, TMS, transportation management system, so that's the application software you'll be using for no like for no like for easily going on with the process. So next is cross-docking. So cross-docking is a concept where the product is moved through the warehouse, but it doesn't stay in the warehouse as a storage unit. I mean, it doesn't have time not to stay in the store, but stay in the storage location. So completely avoiding the concept of storage and the product being moved from the front door to the back door. It is from the receiving dock to the distribution dock or to the delivery dock. either through conveyors or through any other robotic machines or maybe no through manpower, whatever it is. So that's called cross docking. That is crossing the dock, crossing from the receiving dock to the the distribution dock. So that is called as cross dock. So here the concept of storage is no like completely avoided. Cycle counting, so inventory auditing process where small subset of inventory is counted on a specific day. So each day, so the units are being like counted for auditing process. Then is consignment inventory. So inventory that is in the possession of the customer but still owned by the supplier until it is used or sold. So consignment inventory is like the customer is having, but no, it's not owned by the customer, but it's owned by the supplier. So no, it means the customer has not paid for that product. The product has reached the customer's hand, but the customer is no like entitled to no like pay for the product, but the payment is not done. So it's still the supplier's product, not the customer's product. So that's called consignment inventory. Customer order cycle time, the total time from when a customer places an order to when they receive the product. It is order cycle time. It's an important metric for evaluating the efficiency of order fulfillment process. Then customer response time. The time taken by the customer to respond to the no like that is taken by the business or not by the customer. The time taken by the business or the organization or by the agency to respond to the customer queries. So you have received a product, but you have some queries related to the product. So you're calling the organization's customer care unit, or you are no like sending a mail to the like the customer care no like email ID, no like of the organization. So how fast they are responding to your query, to your no like email or to your call or to your no like WhatsApp text or whatever message or whatever it is. So how fast they are responding. So that is called as customer response time. So this is taken no like for evaluation purpose, no to get a better understanding about so what is the quality of the customer service no company is providing. So if the customer response time is no like very minimal, that is no within few seconds or within few minutes, the customer is no like getting the response back from the organization. It means the organization is really no like taking care or no like valuing its customers. On the other hand, if it is taking a quite long time no for responding to the customer, it means the organization no doesn't have any value to the customers. It's not taking its customers at as its priority. Then is commodity. So you know very well this because prod as I said no like I think I have mentioned earlier, product has different names. No like depends upon where it is or under which process no it is. So commodity, when a product is called as commodity, so it is called as a commodity when the product is no like used for interchangeable with other goods of the same type. So that is called as commodity. Consignment. So this is a business arrangement actually where no the product or number of units or a service or whatever it is, it's being no like accepted to be no like transported, the responsibility being transferred from one person to other person at a reasonable cost. So the buyer agrees to that cost and ready to receive the product and ready to know like take up the responsibility of holding the product. So that is called as consignment. So consigner is nothing but the person who sells the product, the shipper actually. And the consignee is a person who buys the product. That is not like the receiver. So it doesn't have to be an individual. It can be organizations, companies as well. So few companies sell the product. So that would be bought by the other companies. Then is cargo claim. It's demand made against a transportation carrier for financial reimbursement for loss or damage to the shipment. So if the seller or the buyer has insured for the product which is to be which no like which is to be transported, and if there is no like there is a no like a problem with the product, so the product has not reached the no like the buyer's hand in full, or no like in a good form, then no this cargo claim can be made. So then is no like cycle time. So time taken to complete one full rotation of the specific process or operation. Then is change order, a formal request or instruction to modify the quantity. That is, order has already been placed. So change order refers to a situation where you're asking the supplier or the vendor or the seller to adjust the quantity or the specifications or delivery of the goods or services. Then is the cycle stock or inventory. So again, considered as a buffer inventory or a safety inventory. So in times of no like any unexpected blockage happening in the supply chain. So this cycle stock or cycle inventory, no like used for replenishment. So we have come till the terminologies, no like okay till C. So from demand forecasting, we can know like yeah, we can see it in the next week. So if you have any doubts, we can stay for some time, maybe for 1 or 2 minutes, or we can meet in the next session. Yes, Mr. Arshad Rasa.
Ma'am, I need to ask you, like local manufacturers, so they have also the bonded warehouses or not?
Local, did you say local? Sorry,
Manufacturer, like local manufacturer, they have not
local
any,
manufacturer.
yes,
Hmm.
they have not any import export business. So they have
Okay.
also the bonded warehouses or not?
No, not necessary. See,
Not necessary.
only, yeah, yeah. See, bonded warehouses are meant only for no like products which are to be exported and imported, not for the products no which is distributed within the country's border.
Okay, and man, second my question, the reconcile of the inventory data, it is we need to do in yearly or we can do any time from the organization.
It depends on the management's decision. So if they want to do it on a daily, I mean, in a daily manner, yes, we have to do it. Or they ask the warehouse people to know, like, have a count check, like for every week or every month. So again, like we have to do it. So every year,
O-
why it is being done is like that would be taken for accounting purposes. So
Okay,
while like preparing the final, like the balance sheet or like final submitting the final accounts of the company to the tax authorities or to the government, you have to
yeah,
mention the inventory which you hold in possession. So for
okay,
that reason, yearly, yeah, yearly count is like yearly count is taken.
okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. We'll meet in next session.